Hi everyone, this is Sonia Chavla. I'm the founder of Mommy Wise, and welcome to another episode of Mommy Wise Saturday Live series. I consume a lot of content. Initially, this started when I became a mom, and I started reading through articles and information online while looking for information for my own daughter. But later on, with Mommy Wise, it became my work, and I end up reading a lot of things on Instagram, online blogs, and parenting platforms every now and then. One such day when I was just browsing through things, one line that was done by a mom influencer just stuck with me. It was a very small, short line that said that she would rather invest in her daughter's travel than save for her marriage. And that thought somehow stayed with me and has stayed with me since then, after that. Um, we as parents very often we are worried about what our kids eat, what they dress up like, how they talk, the fact that they need to learn a different language. We do all of that, the school that they go into. But seldom do we give that kind of importance to traveling and the fact or make an effort around it that my kids should travel and what kind of learning comes out of it. Uh, Traveling is up. We do travel, but we don't travel with the thought of educating our kids. It is more of a one-off holiday that we take in a year or twice in a year to unwind. But we do not look at it or make it in a way that that's going to add on to my kids' learning or experiential learning for that matter. But breaking all those barriers is a mom and a family who is fabulously doing that. I have her with me on the show today. I have Silky Puri with me, and many of you must have come across her handle or would know of her as the Mom Travel Story handle on Instagram because she has a huge following there. She's been widely covered by a lot of journals, a lot of blogs, News Weekly, by Curly Tales, because of the way her handle showcases the travel experiences that they have had, the adventures they do with with their daughter, and how frequently they travel with their 4 year old daughter, and it's amazing. Honestly, I as a mom started traveling when my daughter was 2 year old, and for 2 good years we were sitting at home that with a small kid, I just can't travel, and that's how it is, and that's what our family also tell us that the kid is small and you cannot travel right now. But as I said, this family has broken all those barriers and is a great inspiration for all the new families and parents when it comes to how you can involve your kids into your traveling experiences and build a great foundation that no other thing can build in. So, to touch a base upon this subject, I have Silky with me, and we will start this conversation on how they started with this passion of theirs, and they continued with it even after their daughter was born, and now it is a lifestyle for them, and how and what kind of difference has it brought into their daughter's upbringing and her personality in the last 4 years. So hi Silky, welcome to our Mommy Wise Saturday Live series. How are you doing today?
I'm good, Sonia. Thank you, first of all, for having me here and the lovely introduction. I think it cannot be better than this. It touched my heart really. And I feel that my intention to have this all, whatever I'm doing, is to motivate parents to, first of all, follow their passion. And I can see people getting motivated and also, making your kids also travel, and especially to moms and moms to be, to not let their passion go. So I think somewhere I'm doing good that you have also figured out one of the articles published about it. So thank you for having me here, and definitely happy to share all that I have learned and learning so far in my journey.
Silky, completely my pleasure. So please tell everyone, how did it start? Did it start after your daughter was born, or have you been into traveling even before she was born?
Okay, so it started well when I was a child. I used to just do road trips with my dad, belonging from a middle class family. I was only doing road trip. The first air travel for personally for me, I started doing only after I was earning. So it was just the road trips from where the passion kicked in. And then it was the trips that I used to do with my best friend, who is now my life partner. And we used to travel a lot after marriage. So it's not that after my daughter was born we started traveling. It was well before she was born. We used to travel every other weekend. Whatever savings we could do, we used to spend on our traveling. And the biggest apprehension that we had is that when we were planning for a baby, we thought whether we'll be able to continue with the same passion or not, because as it is conceived, traveling with kids is difficult. But I took that decision. No, this is not how I would want the parenting to be done. I would want my child to travel with me and learn in an experiential way rather than just learning what the conventional way studies have been happening so far. So I would say it started well in before I was pregnant, and still we are continuing with the same thing. And it has become a lifestyle, as you said. It's no more a traveling thing; it's how we live our life.
So, Silky, did it never occur to you or any incident that happened wherein you would be taken aback that probably no, it can't be done? As in when you were traveling with a small kid, how old was your daughter when you first took a trip with her?
Okay, so I first of all I took the trip when I was 4 months pregnant. That was so-called baby moon, but I think that was the best decision that I took after taking my doctor's permission. Even that was difficult. I got to hear a lot of time with from my parents, from my friends, that you have to be very careful going outside India. That time I went to Thailand with 4 months being pregnant, going out. But I thoroughly enjoyed. I would ask mothers to go out for baby moon, especially in second trimester. So that was the first thing. Yes, you can do it. Third trimester was very difficult. And when she was born, I was on my maternity leave. Since I'm working, I only got 3 months of leave. First 2 months were like, feeding, and all the entire process of feeding has already taken a toll on you. Your weight gain has already taken a toll on you. So I chose the safest location to go to Dubai when she was 2 months old. So I quickly applied for her passport, and my husband didn't get the leave, so I took my mom along. Because I wanted somebody to be with me. So I took my mom and we went to Dubai when she was 2 months old, and we stayed there for a month. So it was an eye opener for me that it's not difficult at all. And I think traveling with smaller kids is much more better because they are completely on your feed, and you have stroller, and outside India the countries are very travel friendly. So I did not face any concern at all. So when I came back from Dubai, I told my husband, that this isn't that difficult. Let's do one thing: planning our finances and everything. At least take her once in a year on her birthday to at least one new city, be it in India, be it outside India. But if you want to continue with our passion, at least every year we should show her one different city rather than throwing parties or spending somewhere else. So that's how we started with our traveling journey with her.
Yes, and I have seen those amazing pictures of you celebrating her birthday in various locations. So I
Yeah.
have to tell everyone whosoever is watching this that please follow the handle. You will be amazed as to how well the things are planned, and it does give an idea that we at times invest in things that does not matter a lot, like big parties and all, and we should rather invest into such memories that we create for the
Yeah.
kids. So that was fabulous post, and I did see that. So you said 14 states, 50 cities, and 6 countries with your daughter,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Who is 4 years, right? Which means practically you are traveling every other week, if I'm not wrong. Is it?
I planned in a very good way, I would say. So 50 cities is I've almost covered the entire India with her. There's a lot of echo. Uh, can you hear me properly? There's a lot of echo, I
Yes,
guess.
yes. Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah, better. Okay.
Okay.
So I've traveled almost entire India with her, except the northeast part of India. So that was what I wanted to travel this year, but due to COVID, we couldn't take flights. But even COVID couldn't stop us. Last 5 months, we have been traveling every month with her, but with some kind of smart traveling. We're just doing road trips, being responsible. That we ourselves shouldn't get caught with this coronavirus, and also being responsible in terms of we shouldn't litter around everywhere. So in India, I think We have traveled to south part of India down to Kanyakumari, Kerala. We've been to Himachal. We've been to Rajasthan. We've been to Maharashtra. So I've been planning around her. What is the next thing that I want to show her? So if you talk about the different kind of landforms, so my first thing was to show her oceans. What are beaches? So rather than studying in book, I would rather take her to place where she see those things. And now I think she knows the different kind of ships, not because I have made her learn, because she has seen herself. Then I wanted to take her to desert, so I took her to Rajasthan, to Jaisalmer, and shown her desert and how the camel ride happened. And this time, now that she's 4 years old, she has developed that craze for Elsa, for a Frozen character. All girls are like this. So she wanted to see snowfall. So we took her to Himachal, so that she can experience the snowfall. So our planning is more to teach her new things, also to experience new things. And basically, when we traveled outside India, also I wanted her to, feel that it's not limited to India. Now she knows on her tips the different kind of continents we have in the world, different kind of the continents and different country names and everything. She has all those things in her tips, even the capitals and all. And I haven't taught her. She has heard those things from others, and she has grasped it very nicely. So I can see the benefit of all these things that I'm doing. I don't have to force her for anything, and she's learning with the process.
So, Silky, I read it in your bio somewhere, wherein you said that it required a lot of planning. And if planning was right, traveling with kids is not very difficult. Could you tell us about?
Yeah.
I know for a fact you are working full time, so is your husband. Now, how do you manage
Yeah.
between your work and the stressful which we have in metros these days to travel then every second week or every month? But it is almost
Yeah.
practically living out of a suitcase, how it is. So how do you manage?
Yeah. So I agree completely on this. Planning is the only key. Planning and your research, especially with the kids. So planning, when we are traveling outside India, I start the planning well 6 months in advance. Starting from where we have to stay. So if we are going in India, I prefer to call hotels in advance and check whether they provide the kind of food my daughter has. Also, I try and make sure that she has local food. But as a mother, I am always ready with a plan B in case she doesn't accept the local food. Is the hotel providing the food? Because she loves dalia, she loves khichdi. So whether the hotel is giving that kind of food. So in terms of food, I make sure that I call hotel. If I'm traveling outside India, I prefer Airbnbs or homestay where there is a kitchenette setup and I can cook for her whenever needed. Though nobody wants to cook on travels, but when you're traveling with the kid, you have to be ready with your plan B. What if the kid doesn't accept the local food? So it starts from food. It starts from the kind of mode of transport that we are going. So if it is an air travel, we're traveling by air and it's a long flight. Again, I call the airline and check the benefits that they provide. Sometimes there are a lot of benefits that the airline provides and we don't get to know. Like for an example, when she was small and we went to Europe, the airline provides a bassinet for the kids to sit for to sleep. They provide a lot of activities for kids to be engaged. They provide a lot of puree or food which the child can have. So I make sure that I call the airline in advance and check what kind of facility or how do they make sure that we are traveling with kid and they can make our journey comfortable. And the same ways, if I'm traveling in India, I prefer traveling in car because literally my car is my another house at this moment. So the back seat of the car is her area. So I equip my car with all kind of her favorite toys. She loves reading book and she loves talking. So I sit at back and I keep talking to her and keep explaining her the things. So mode of transport, I take care of that. Food, I ensure that in advance. Then comes my leaves, because being a working mother and my husband is also working, we are in a nuclear family setup, just two of us, and my daughter, she goes to daycare. So that's the kind of a family setup we have. So me and my husband, we calendarize the calendar, the leaves in well in advance. When is the long weekend happening? So for long weekends, we plan for a shorter trips. if it is like a annual lease, what time we can have an annual leave, because he works in a finance department. He cannot get leaves on month ends because that's how finance works. So we strategize together, and the most important thing if you're working is to, set an expectation with your manager, that this is what you're doing, this is what you like, and this is how you're planning the work. And also be mentally prepared that your work can come anytime. It can never happen that you're on leave for 15 days and you're not disturbed. So always be ready to go extra mile or work extra mile if that comes in between. So you, at the end, you're managing passion and your work both, so it goes hand in hand. And planning and research, as you said, is the key.
So, Silky, have you not come across a situation wherein your daughter has said that, no, I am tired, I cannot travel anymore? Because I'm sure it is taxing for a little kid also, somewhere down the line, a frequent travel. Does that happen, or she's as passionate about the next travel
See, it's
destination?
all on the mother, I would say. How you are making her mentally prepared, how you are initiating the conversation well in advance. I am not just getting a one sudden day and telling her, okay, we have to go there. I am setting up the platform for her well a month in advance. Okay, do you know we are going for a place where you will see this, where you will meet this, where you will wear this thing. So, and then I have to create that curiosity in her, because she is a small kid at the end. I don't expect her to show her passion to me or show her eagerness to me. I have to create all those things for her, create an atmosphere for her, show her the pictures, show her the videos, that this is how you will, things that you will come across. And I think, don't let child decide about it. And she doesn't now. I create so much curiosity in her that she is well prepared in advance. I involve her in packing process. I involve her in research process in a way I can do it. That I show her the pictures. This is the monument that we are going to see. I try and buy books for that. So when I was going to Himachal, I bought books related to mountains and shown her all these things. So I would say, don't expect a child. You as parent needs to create that curiosity in your kid, and make her make the entire experience a learning process for them. So as I said, books are the best gifts that you can give to your kid. And with this, the books have become best friend of her, because when she comes back, we fill a travel journal. We try and draw the things what she has learned. I remember we just came back from Solang Valley, Manali. So I made her draw things. What did she see there? So she draw a gondola ride, she draw a paragliding, a snow bike. So what all she has seen in her own way, we make her draw, and that's a drawing activity for her. So rather than asking her to draw something which she hasn't seen, I'm making a part of a learning process. So I think she is very good. I'm more than me. She's a traveler now. She loves traveling and she's a storyteller. So if you ask her, how did you, I have posted a lot of things about this in Instagram as well. Whenever I come back from a trip, okay, Khwaish, tell me, what did you see there? What did you like about it? And she is a complete storyteller and she'll tell you about everything. So I think I'm raising a mini traveler at this moment. For her, this is how the life it is, that you work hard, and you come back and you plan your travels and you see the world. You're earning and you're spending on this. Education and traveling is the top priority, and this is getting somewhere in her head as well.
Which is fabulous. So, like you said, you have and that you have been posting it on your Insta handle. Can you tell us something about that? It has great following, and people have recognized the work that you have been doing so far. So, how did that happen? Traveling was there, and you, as you said, told me that you started posting it into your own private account initially, and it was only later that you made it public. So why did that transaction happen, and how did that idea come to you that it is something that you want to put in front of people in the public domain?
Yeah, so I always had my private account on Instagram and had no intention to make it public. But one fine day, I thought, okay, let me just post my traveling pictures and not show my face. I'll be very honest, I was very hesitant initially to just, post my pictures. Making the account public was the biggest decision, which me and my husband took it. Okay, let's post the pictures public. It's okay. Initially, if you see my post down the line, 20, 30 posts, I did not post my pictures. But then I realized, if you want your audience to connect with you, feel with you, there are n number of pictures on Google. why would they feel a connect with you? That's when I started putting up my pictures, my experiences with with my daughter, that where all I'm going, what all she's learning, and what are the child friendly places, how do you manage travel with child. And that's where it got traction. I meet a lot of mothers who want to travel, but again they're hesitant enough to take a small baby for traveling. So that's where it picked up that there is a woman out there who is working, who is chasing a passion, who did not let her passion die even after the kid, and who is transferring that passion of traveling to the kid as well. And they can see the difference in her. Khwahish is, if you talk to her, she is a different child. I would be honest. She has a great communication skills. She's very, very confident. She can talk to anyone. She's not an introvert child, and I don't want my daughter to be introvert. She's a very extrovert child. She can talk to the strangers confidently. Her learning and grasping power is very fast. So, and I get a lot of questions. The child will not remember where all places you have taken. I am not taking her to different places so that she remember things. But the indirect benefit of all those traveling in terms of developing her personality, I can see that. A 4-year child narrating the entire story to you itself is my win, that as a parent, this is my job and this is my investment. And in a way, I am living my passion also. I say happy mothers can only raise happy child. I am also happy, and at the end, my daughter is also picking up. So that it's a win-win situation for both of us.
Yeah, and yeah, you said rightly that the kid, that people might had hinted that they would not remember it, that your daughter might not remember the destination that she visited while she's small. So what do you do? How do you preserve those memories for her that she can look back? I'm sure everything is adding value to her, but then apart from the
Yeah.
fact that everything is there, is there another way that you have been saving those memories so that she can look back every time the travel, look at the travel trips that you all have taken together?
Yeah. Lot of ways. I think, first of all, I would say my social handle itself is my life journey, where I post everything about where all she have been to. When I come back, I post a video. This is what she has learned. Also, I we fill up the travel journals together. So all this is preserving her memories as well. I do have a private account as well, which I have opened in her name. So I put a lot of things there as well. I have, email ID in her name, which wherever we come back, I just keep and store the pictures and a kind of a letter to her, that this is what maybe she doesn't remember. I will make her remember, when you went to this trip, this is first thing that you tasted. I remember when we went to Amsterdam, first time she tasted the waffles there. When we went to Switzerland, cheese fondue is something she tasted first time in Switzerland. And what was her reaction to it? When did she tasted lemon first time? When did she tasted gelatos first time? If I can get my memories of childhood like this, I would be the best person. So I'm trying to create everything for her, and trying to preserve everything. And I get a lot of questions, Sonia, to be honest, that how do you manage everything in terms of finances as well? So for that, I would want to say it's not easy. I am not born with a golden spoon. I belong from a very, very middle class family. I am doing things by my own. So I don't have a financial backup as such, who's funding my trips, who is sponsoring my trips. So I have prioritized my things in life, what I want to achieve in my life. Maybe there is someone who wants to buy a house with that money. I don't have my own house. I still live in a rented house, but my priority, I've given travel over the other materialistic thing, because I still remember last time when this article got published, a lot of questions were asked. Only people with good financial support can do that. And I want to say it's not like that. You know, you have to set your priorities. We are working 24 by 7, me and my husband. We are saving and then we are spending on it. It's not coming from somewhere else. But when I see the benefit of it, when I see I am keeping myself happy, living the things the way I want to do, I can see the benefits my daughter is getting, everything is worth it. I don't intend to save in a house or intend to save in a jewelry. So it's everybody has different priorities. So I wanted to address that question because I know many will think that it's very easy for people to travel who have money or who have a back end support.
So, brilliant. As in, hats off to you, Silky. I should say that really, for having, as in, for pursuing that and sticking on to it. I'm sure there must be adversities. I'm sure there will be a lot of judgments being passed or
Yeah.
family pressure as well. So, how do you cope up with it then? Does that happen? That, as in, do you see anywhere down the line that things getting changing for any external factor? Because of any external factor, you might have to just take a back seat over the years, or anything. Or do you think it does not matter and it is going to stay the way it is?
See,
As in, do you
initially
have concerns like that?
I got a lot of backlashes from everyone, be it my own family, because any parent would want that, you're spending this much X amount in your trip. Why don't you save it for your daughter marriage? Or why don't you buy a jewelry? Or why you don't have a house? You're going for a Europe trip. These are the kind of questions I get. How can you go for a trip if you, why don't you save and give an installment? So I get a lot of backlashes also, but I'm okay with it. I think the biggest support is my husband because we have same thinking. I would give a credit that always marry your best friend who understands you well. So we have been grown up together. We have studied together. We have worked in same company also. So we have seen our journey and our mind work in a similar fashion. So I know if we both are aligned with the kind of lifestyle we want, with the kind of parenting we want, things are smooth. And now I'm at a stage that with so many, I'm motivating so many people personally. I can see I'm motivating. I get so many messages from these strangers as well, moms that they want to travel. Uh, but they cannot because they think with the child it's not possible. Indirectly I'm motivating someone. That's my biggest happiness at this moment. I am not doing this blogging or showing it on my social media because I want to show my travels. But if it can help someone, it can motivate someone, that's the intention. And now things are very much clear in my mind. I want to continue traveling, continue showing my daughter what the world has to offer to her, what all things are there out of house is not the only place where the life is limited. There is so many things. I think traveling change your perspective towards your life. You're not, your thought process is not restricted that this is the only thing to in the world to see. There is a lot more things beyond your house, lot more things to see, things to experience, meet new people. And you are not a materialistic person that you happy with your little expensive gifts or something you have, but your happiness lies in exploring new things. And that's why I want to live my life also. And I think I have biggest support of my husband. Even now my family is okay now that they see that this is how they can see the difference in question. I think my answer to every question is my daughter. If somebody says anything, you have an example. Even after doing this thing, you know, you just look at her, the way she has become a confident girl and clearly distinguished from the other kids of her age. So that's the answer to every question that I get.
So, so you are the travel guru, and now we will take some gyan for you, from you, from all the travels that you have done, and for all the moms out there who will be motivated after this one, but will still have certain questions or apprehensions in mind. So, traveling with infants, what are the primary things one should keep in mind while planning a trip?
I think it's the most easiest thing. Traveling with infants is the most easiest thing because they up till 1 year of age, they don't need anything. You just need a good stroller, comfortable stroller. You just be, if you're a breastfeeding mom or a formula given mom, whatever it is, they don't need anything. Just keep your basic medicines, be aware of your child in terms of what is the sleeping time and what makes the child cranky. or what makes a child uncomfortable. Up till 1 year, it's good. The trouble starts when you say troubling twos is when things get difficult, because when they start walking and they're not in, they cannot sit at one place. But then what I used to do is I used to take a separate bag for her where I used to keep a lot of things which she likes and keep things which keeps her engaged. So in the stroller only, up till 2.5 years she has used stroller. So in the stroller only, I used to give her things which she loves. So carry a bag of your kid's favorite toys, books, or whatever. It can be as simple as a soft toy with which the kid sleeps. So that's another tip that I want to give. Another thing that I can say is plan your mode of transport based on your child. Like if it is a long flight, try and take a flight which is during the night, during the sleeping time, so that you can pass the journey easily. Um, I already said, check the hotel in advance. Travel with the comfortable clothes. Do not go after fashion for kids. I am not someone like that, so I don't go after fashion, I go after comfort. I would prefer my daughter wearing a jogger and roam around. So look at their comfort, which is most important as a kid. And take one trip, two trip. Eventually you will learn yourself what works for you, what doesn't work for you. If I give you 10 tips because it works for my daughter, so with your own mistakes you will learn the things. Because I remember one of the trip, I just went there and she refused the local food, and then I regretted. Next time when I'm going to travel, I'm going to take a mini rice cooker for her because she loves rice. Or I used to take atta for her. I'll be very honest that I used to take basic grains with me, and if nothing will be there, I have a atta to make a paratha for her. Okay, so that's the safest thing. So what works for your child, as a mom, every child is different, you will figure it out, but at least take that chance to travel with your kids. And I think it's not that difficult. Take one trip and you will be pro. The difficulty happens only when the it's the first timers who will have the difficulties.
So are there anything that we need to keep in mind while selecting a location or a destination for a holiday initially when we start traveling with kids? Is it, as in, does it matter whether we're traveling to the mountain or we're going to the beach side, the location, distance? Are these things that one should keep in mind, or it does not matter?
For me, it always worked good, thankfully. But I hear a lot of questions from the other moms that my daughter does vomit during the road travels, or my daughter is not comfortable traveling to a mountain location and all those things. So try and take baby steps. Do not just completely jump into the biggest trip of your life. So take a small trips nearby. Try and work out if road trips work for you or not. Smaller road trips, staycation work for you or not. Maybe just go out and give the child a different atmosphere from your home atmosphere. If that works for your child, I think the first step is done. The child is comfortable in the different atmosphere. Then try and take a trip which is a road trip. Experiment with first small journey, like air travel, small duration journeys. If the child is comfortable, I think take a baby steps for that, and eventually you will be there. My daughter did not face any kind of concern. First trip I had with her was Dubai, which was again 4 hours journey, 3.5 4 hours, not. And she was 2 months old, she was sleeping all the time. I read a lot of things that, when I did my own research, that you should keep feeding them when the flight is taking off, or but no concern as such happened with her. I was keeping her occupied. So it works different for different kids. My daughter didn't have any kind of concern. Maybe the other child might have it. So take a baby step and you will eventually learn what needs to be done.
So a quick couple of rapid fire for you. So after so many travels, is it beach or is it mountain? What is your preferred
Mountain.
location?
Mountains.
Yes.
I am not
And
that,
for
I
Qaish?
don't know swimming yet, so I'm still water phobic. I love mountains. Khwahish, anything. You take her. It's on me. What I want her to where all I want her to take. But I think she loves mountain. I can see her craze with mountains. So I think for her it's also mountains. Like mom, like daughter.
after traveling to so many locations, internationally and domestic, if you were to relocate from Delhi, Gurgaon, and settle down in another place, what would be that destination for
I'm
you?
very
Which
happy in
location would you want to?
Gurgaon. I like last 15 years, I'm in Gurgaon. I'm very happy. My base is here. I have been given a lot of opportunities to settle abroad as well through my work, but I'm extremely happy in India. I really do not want to settle anywhere else, but I've been to beautiful places. I loved Kerala. Kerala was is I did not expect it. It will be so beautiful. But I'll be very honest, but it is extremely. It's really God's own country. So Kerala is beautiful. Outside India, Switzerland is again one of the very 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 good place. It's extremely beautiful. I did solo trip to South Africa to Cape Town. Again, it was considered it's not a safe place for especially women to go, but Cape Town is extremely beautiful, outperformed my expectation. But there's so many places to see that I can't, really name few of them. And I don't want to settle anywhere. I just want to come back to my own house here because my parents are here. So I want to be with them, travel, explore, and come back to your own house. So far, my life is like this. Work 9 to 6 in the office. In the evening, spend time with your child. Weekends, travel and be at your home. That's the only how I am perceiving my life.
So, which is the next destination on your list?
My brother is getting married in May and he's going to Maldives. And I am thinking I should disturb him during his honeymoon. So we are planning for Maldives at this moment because at this moment, in only Maldives and Dubai is open. I've been to Dubai several times. I've not been to Maldives, so Maldives is where I want to go. Within India, if you say, I'm still thinking, whether I should take a air travel or not. Last 5 months I've been doing road trips only. I've covered entire north side of India. I've been to Shimla, Manali, I've been to Uttarakhand, I've been to Missouri, Rajasthan also. Road trips I have done. So I wanted to go to northeast part of India and explore because it's again very beautiful. And again, Khwahish has to learn that northeast is also part of India. It's really beautiful. We have different kind of people within India itself, so it's not just North Indians or South Indians. Different kind of India within different kind of people within India itself. So that's the motive of me taking her to northeast part of side.
And if you have to choose one location, or your daughter has to choose, what do you think she will choose as her next trip? As in, has she also made a list for herself?
She
Like my daughter wants to go to London.
Okay. Okay, in the morning only we were talking. If it is again India, she wants to go to Rajasthan because I told you she loves castle. Forts in her language is castle. So every time I ask her, where do you want to go? She always say, I want to go to the castle, like a princess castle. So that's where, because it's her age of 4 years is that kind of age. Outside India, she wants to go to New York because she's watching a lot of movies, of late. Like she watched Stuart Little, she was watching Madagascar movie. All have been shot in New York. So she was asking me, will I meet Stuart Little there? I said yes, you will meet Stuart Little. So that's how her craze is getting developed. If you ask her India, she will say, ah, mama, take me to castle. And that's how what we did on her 4th birthday. So we went to Nimrana Fort, and I got her dressed up in a Frozen dress up and made her roam around in the castle. Okay, this is your castle, and just feel like Elsa. So that's how we did it. Yeah. But I think her right now, being a 4 year child, locations are still on dependent on me. Her locations are based on her kind of book she's reading. She'll first ask which is the place this is, and the kinds of movies that I introduce to her, and that based on that she decides her location. But currently, it's just me who plans it.
So, on a parting note, Silky, what would be your message to parents and young parents or to-be moms? What is your message to them when they plan their kids' upbringing and priorities?
I have been very consistent in terms of my message to everyone. First is traveling is not as difficult as people perceive it. Um, Traveling any day outshines in terms of the learnings that your kid can get, which no other classroom or other books can give. I've been very consistent in saying that. I have a live example. My daughter is the live example of that. I can see the differences in her. And my Instagram handle also says very, very clear motto of mine is that I'm motivating people to follow their passion. Whatever is your passion, being a mom or soon to be mom, please do not give up on your passion. My is traveling. Your passion can be something else. So things work out if you make an intention or a goal for yourself. Things will not work out if you just give up. So never give up on your passion and continue with the same. And mom being a mom is, it doesn't stop you, because if you are happy again, you will keep your child happy, and you have to show or be an example for your kids. And you can only be example for your kids when you do it yourself. You don't would not want your kids to give up your passion once they become parents, and you can only expect that when you are doing the same thing. So that's my intention, very clear on my social handles, very clear everything, that I want people to continue with their passion. It can be at any field.
On that great words of wisdom. Thank you so much, Silky, for taking out time today. I had been planning this for the last 4 months because this is one story I wanted my audience to hear out and get inspired. And it's truly an inspirational story there. So all the very best for your future travels, for your traveling journeys and your parenting journey with Khwahish. And yeah, I would urge everyone to just follow Silky on her Instagram handle for very nice traveling guidance that she's constantly posting about, the tips that she constantly posts on her handle, and her traveling experience also that she shares there. On that note, we will, yeah. So on that note, this is Sonia Chawla saying bye-bye until we meet you again next week. Have a fabulous, fabulous week ahead. And we'll see you again next Saturday with another live session on parenting and more. And do send in your suggestions, follow our handles, inbox your ideas to us on what is it that you would like us to do more on, and we will bring that information to you.
Thank you,
Until
Sonia,
we
for
meet
having.
again.
Yeah, so yeah, I want to say that, keep bringing up such stories, because it's a social platform. We have to learn from each other, and it's really motivating. Even for me, if I hear out other parents, it's definitely a great platform to learn from each other. Social media is all about community building. So you're doing a fabulous job in terms of bringing different kind of people together and bringing up such stories. Mine is just one of them, but I can see different kind of stories as well. So keep up the good work that you've been doing, Sonia. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Silky. All right, and everyone, bye bye, and we'll see you again next Saturday. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye bye.